I would request the first presenter of the session, Professor Dr. Ilsur Nafikov. He is from Kazan Federal University, Russia, and he'll be talking about perspectives of Pakistan and Russia, economic and trade relations in the context of new political realities.
Today, while we talk about the Russian-Pakistan relations, we have also always try to look to the past because we have a huge outcome in the past that was in the period of the Soviet Union as well. So we have some basis. The platform was created during the 1950s up to most of the 1960s, and then after the 80s to the last year of the Soviet Union, and then. We have some period that was full of the projects, but most of them wasn't realized or still in deal. So those topics that we are interested in. To understand what is, first of all, when we want to understand what we're talking about, we have to see in reality we have two important stages. That we are cooperating in. One of them is the political area. The second one is actually related to the trade and commerce. That makes the first basis for the cooperation of two states, because when we have the different difficulties or the progressive periods in the political communication, we understand that the commerce and trade communication will always support those traditions that were created before. While we're talking about the Russian Federation, we have to understand that it's the largest country in the world, spanning Eastern Europe and Northern Asia. It covers more than 17 million kilometers square, and with the different landscape, with the mountains, plains, forests, tundra. I mean, we have Arctic, sometimes which here, even in Karachi. When we ask it, how many centigrades is today? Everyone said, some around 30. We say, it's good, because nowadays in our homeland it's something like -12. And it is according to the difference of the climate and at the same time of those possibilities that has Russia to present for its as external market, at the same time for the necessary goods that are not 12 months per year can be supplied to the Russian market as well. Population of Russia, approximately 145 million people, making it one of the most populous countries in the world. Actually, in the Europe, Russia predominantly Orthodox Christians, but more than 10% of the Russian population are Muslim. So why we're mentioning this point, because it gives the possibility for Russia to cooperate as well the Western states before the crisis of 2014 on the Eastern Europe. At the same time, it gives a good area for cooperation with the Islamic states, and Russia is one of those states. By the way, Kazan is the point that makes the possibility for cooperation with Russia and the Islamic world. Economy is one of the largest in the world, yes, and actually based on the natural resources, the particle oil, the natural gas, and there is important sectors in machinery that was well presented in the Soviet period in Pakistan, industry and Pakistan market as well. Russia is a global power with a significant influence in international policy. Yesterday, one of our colleagues mentioned that Russia can use its energy sources. No, Russia do not use its energy sources for the policy. It is the main aspect of the Russian export, as it is the same if Pakistan will use basmati rices for its own policy in the world. So it's somehow the same. The other partner that we try to look through the cooperation is the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, which is located in South Asia, and one of the main key points of the Pakistan is the population, which is active, and according to last statistics and our colleagues, as they mentioned yesterday, somehow up to 55-60% of the Pakistan population are young people, those who will create Pakistan in the future. I mean, and the important main issue is to study, to work, and to do all the best researches in Pakistan to have a good Pakistan or the happy Pakistan in the future. I mean, it has to be the Pakistan for Pakistan people. So that from that position, we can be sure that nowadays, according to the possibilities and the sources, human sources as well, the Pakistan has a good achievement and a good opportunity to realize those ideas that has to be a planet, especially for the young people. You know, strategic importance plays a crucial role in the regional geopolitics due to the location and the relationship with the neighbors. As we understand, it's within the United Nations, Commonwealth of the Nations, and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is important platforms for cooperation with most of the world as well. Of course, we have a huge historical background that has the different periods. Just to look through the situation, we understand that the Russian-Pakistani relations has the period of the creation, period of the difficulties, of the crisis, then of rebalancing the situation and of rethinking the importance of the Pakistani relationship in this period. According to the global situation nowadays, we understand that after the beginning, the second 10 year of the 21st century created a new framework for the cooperation and new realities. That was our topic mainly because we really want to understand what happens and what will be in this new era, in this new framework of law, where law, as we see in the from the example of the Western countries, are not working. I mean, it doesn't work because they are creating the rules that is useful for today. Tomorrow it will be expired. Yesterday nobody thought about those rules that is managing the European security or the European or the global security and global area for the cooperation. So it creates misunderstanding in international legislation as well. Russia has been under the various sanctions, as you understand, and particularly it started with the Ukrainian crisis and appearance of the regional threat to the Russian national security. Of course, the question is, this crisis appeared because there is an important principle that was written as a main base for the global coexistence. I mean, in Europe, you are ready to work, to cooperate, to think, to understand, maybe sometimes rebalance the situation or rethink your partnership, but it was created the important legislative platform that created this possibility. Unfortunately, first of all, this possibility was created with the final act of the Conference of Security and Cooperation in Europe in 1975 in preamble. Also the content of the principle of enshrined in Code of Conduct of Military Political Security in December in 1994. Then it was also in the Astana Commemorative Declaration on December 2010. You can look through these important issues. I mean, what does it say? It says that the security in the global world is indivisible. I mean, it's impossible to supply a lot of equipment, weapon trading according to the army development without any threat to the neighbors. So if someone does that one, it makes the main global threat to your own state. And that was the reason why we have the situation, because Russia, the state as a Russia, are not ready to have such a huge amount of the threat near its own borders. So, according to the policy, as we understand, by the way, always we was sure, we still continue to think that all your outcomes or your perspectives or your projects outside the world is still yours. I mean, nobody can touch that one or do something with that one. Unfortunately, new reality showed that there is nothing yours in the world, because even if you are a great power with such opportunities as Russian Federation, because the law and the legislation that was created just to protect these important parts made it, showed in other way. So after that one, a lot of the sanctions was realized by the Western Bloc, led by the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, European Union. They were actually touching the main spheres like trade, investment, financial transactions, also energy, finance, and defense sectors were in all related to this policy. That is not like a sanction, but it's normally to say like a ban for the some state. But it's really difficult. First of all, it's important to understand that it's difficult to ban the state, which is the biggest state in the world according to its landscape, according to its possibilities and the different spheres and the sources you have. I mean, it's like you have a state who is exporting a lot of gas that is necessary for industry, but you try to ban that state because of the policy. It looks like it's like to shoot to your own leg, like just to separate most of the important spheres. Of course, in these conditions, we understand that there is a new partners and the old partners of Russia who are still works with Russia. Understand that it hasn't to be a fact to the population of their own state. It's not about just the Eastern countries. There we have good examples in the Europe as well. For example, even now in European Union, we have the Slovakia and Hungary. The leaders of Slovakia and Hungary, they do not think about the European strategies or the European security strategies or European ideas for that one. The leader of Slovakia thinks about the people of Slovakia, and the leader of Hungary thinks all the attention of the leader of Mr. Orban is about the people of Hungary, because people of Hungary elected him, and he's an important representative of that one in the global area. So that shows the example of the leaders who are really interested in the growth, in the development of their own states in the region. Of course, in these sectors, we have an interesting question. What has changed in economy in Russia? Of course, we, as the important states who are involved into the international trade and interstate cooperation in level of commerce and trade, Russia had its the state debts outside the world, outside the border of the state. But according to the statistics of 2017, the reserves of Russia increased outside the world. And they become more than even the state debt of the Russia outside the world. So Russia realized the policy, completely covered the policy of self-supply for the financial independence outside the state. And it creates the possibility to realize its own policy inside the country. The other moment is we understand that the export to the European states started to decrease, but we see the increasing area for the import from the Asians, from the real France and the Asian states, even more than we predicted before the crisis. They started to realize their own projects with covering those necessary limits, which was lost when policy of 2014 started. And the other moment is, of course, there is some important sensitive issues in the technologies. Most of those companies who were presented in the Russian market, they started to ask the question, if we go, nobody will come. But it was one of the, as a popular term here in frame of our conference, as it's not a miscalculation, by the way, it's mostly like the limited information about that, because most of the sectors that became empty for the Russian market found new owners and new representatives in the region as well. So briefly, Islamic Republic of Pakistan, 240 million, the population, most of them are Muslims. There's also other fears and other religion are also presented in the Pakistan as well. So there is a harmony with the coexistence inside the Pakistan, and we understand that there's a lot of possibilities and a lot of area to cooperate between the Russia and Pakistan. Historical background that involves the different important periods with the creation of the diplomatic relations, with the period of the difficulties, maybe somewhere nearby the crisis in political communication or cooperation, but then we have the period of how can I say, melting those frozen diplomatic growth, and then of course in the beginning of the 21st century we understand that there is a huge possibilities and good area for the cooperation inside this communication between two states, I mean, B-state cooperation. While we're talking about the new political realities or new agenda, we understand that there is indivisibility of the security that was clashed or that was destroyed by those who, by the way, created those strategy. I mean, Europeans created, was one of those important members, not created, because most of our states also was presented, actually, while we're talking about the Russia, and the creation of indivisibility of the regional security. Then it was clashed because any reason, and Russia really tried to overcome this situation with the diplomatic ways and with diplomatic tools, with the different official visits, even the visits of the delegation of the foreign ministry to Vienna for the OSCE, for the Brussels, for the NATO as well, just try to balance the situation and remind to the Europe that, guys, you were talking about the indivisibility of the regional security and the security of trade and commerce as well. Of course, when we talk about the international debt and the balances of that one in 2017 as well, we can see according to the graphs and the possibility how it was replaced by the Asian states in the region. Of course, the question is, when we cooperate with two states between the Pakistan and Russia, what can we gain and what can we sell? There is still a lot of difficulties. By the way, we'll talk about that one. We have to remind that according to 2020, Pakistan exported semi-millet, wholly millet rice, and it became one of the main exporters in the region. It also related to the spheres of the textile, agriculture as well. And Pakistan is importing the petroleum oils, the natural gas, and these are main main statements in the import list of the Pakistan. So there is some interesting, we understand that there is some interesting sensitive points for cooperation between two states as well. And also, if we try to see according to the statistic into 2023, 2022, you can look through that one. And those parts are important for Russia because we are importing those products that are exported by Pakistan, and we are exporting those products that actually on the top 5 list importing Pakistan. I mean, when we look at in theory, or according to data and to the real information, we understand that there is a huge possibility for communication between two states. But when we, and that time we asked the question why we are still not there, but on the middle of our way for the full cooperation between two states. So we understand that there has to be some interesting issues. When we speak about the Russian export, of course, we understand that who are the main partners of Russia. Here is a common, we found first common point, by the way, as for Pakistan or for the Russian Federation, main exporter China, and but the products we export are different. So we understand that this is an important actor for the guarantee to be ensured from which with each other in this new area, new realities cooperation, as we can understand that one. And it gives the good perspective for cooperation. But unfortunately, still there is some important issue that's still not solved. One of them is financial transfer tools between Pakistan and Russia. We still ask the question why we don't have the real financial. I mean, if you are selling something to Russia or you are selling something to Pakistan, and you buy something, import from Pakistan or Russia in this interstate cooperation, you have to understand how can I earn my finance for those goods and products. This is a big problem nowadays. I mean, with the questions of logistics, strategic projects with the railways and so on, we have also an important issue, name it like the financial transaction between two states. So in this moment, we can understand that according to those products, by the way, what we are exporting to Pakistan, well, wheat, the coal briquettes, iron. I mean, actually, those sources that are necessary for the Pakistan agriculture, that is necessary for Pakistan industry in all, and we are actually importing those things that are really necessary for Russian Federation nowadays when we're looking for the partners in the world. As I remember, it has to be one of the last slides. I'll try to briefly go on. As I saw, according to the presentations, we have a good possibility and good opportunity today to moderate one of the sections. There is a lot of important presentations or researches from our colleagues as from Pakistan or from Russian Federation. They are related to the main strategic projects with the pipeline. I mean, they're analyzed step by step with all necessary details as well, and also the railway projects with the corridor, the role of the CPC for this one, how it can be involved, not involved, North-South corridor, how it will affect or not. Of course, we'll be glad to meet with this information or with presenters. According to that, we understand that nowadays on the level of the politicians, I mean of the elites, we have a warm climate, if it's possible to mention in this way, for the cooperation. Of course, from beyond the people who are meet each other in the street, there is a warm climate to cooperate. But we always have to be sure that there is a connection and understanding in all stages between, I mean, we start with the leaders and up to the people who meet each other in the street. We have to find the common understanding of those projects that are necessary. The question is there anything that may block this cooperation? Is there any misunderstanding or disconnecting points for two states? According to the experts and imports, no. You are importing oil and gas, we're exporting oil and gas. We are importing the textile and agriculture, you export that one. So there is full connection, but unfortunately two main questions are still not solved. Logistics, because it makes sense for the prices for the export and import. And the second one is the financial transfers and transaction between two states. After the solution of these two main tools, it will give a huge area for the cooperation. Other thing, by the way, Pakistan is one of the main exports of the textile in the world, in the region as well. I don't know if you look to the statistics, Pakistan takes the 10th place from the beyond the exporters of textile to Russia, and Pakistan is right now in the middle between the Germany and Cambodia. According to the analysis, the place of Pakistan is very high there upstairs, But the level of the realization of this policy is now give just the 10th place of the top list for the textile exporters to Russian market. So there is a lot of things to think, to analyze, and especially to do. Because as I mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, nobody thinks as much about Pakistan as Pakistan people. Nobody loves Pakistan as much as Pakistan people. The same for Russia. Nobody needs Russia in this degree as Russians need the Russia, because it's a homeland. And we understand that state has to work for its future, not just to grow up here and to realize your own ambitions outside the state. That is important. Thank you very much for your attention.
On behalf of Sayyid Ashique Hamdani Sahab, I will present his paper. The topic of the presentation is Economic Cooperation and Regional Connectivity, North-South Transport Corridor. Honorable guest, Professor Dr. Zabte Keshanwari, Vice Chancellor, Federal Urdu University, Arts and Technology. Mr. Professor Linar Safin, Rector of Kazan Federal University. Distinguished scholars, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great privilege and honor to address this historic gathering, the first Pakistan-Russian International Scientific Conference. Today we come together to explore the rich intellectual, cultural and strategic ties between Pakistan and Russia, recognizing the lessons of our shared history and the potential for the brighter collaborative future. The relationship between Pakistan and Russia has seen its share of challenges, but it has always been underpinned by resilience and shared aspirations. President Vladimir Putin's remarks during the SCO summit in Dushanbe, Tajikistan on November 26, 2010 encapsulate this sentiment. Without any conditions here, we are your allies in the full sense of the words. The unwavering commitment to partnership remains a cornerstone of our bilateral relations. Our history of cooperation is marked by significant milestones. During the Soviet era, cultural and academic exchanges flourished. Russian scholars such as Professor Gonkovsky and Dr. Belukritsky produce invaluable research on Pakistan, contributing to a nuanced understanding of its history, society, and governance. Their work, along with the publication of the first ever Encyclopedia of Pakistan in Russian and English, laid a strong intellectual foundation for bilateral relations. Historically, during the Soviet era, cooperation in these fields thrived remarkably. The bibliography of Russian scholars on Pakistan remain one of the most comprehensive in the world. The work of luminaries such as the late Professor Gonkovsky and prominent scholars like Kamenev and Masaklonev have significantly contributed to Pakistan studies. Their research has paved the way for mutual appreciation and understanding between our nations. Institute of Oriental Studies under Russian Academy. Institute of Oriental Studies under Russian Academy of Sciences publish almost 80 books and publication about Pakistan, including 3 constitutions of Pakistan by learned academic in 1976. On the Pakistan side, scholars have studied Russia's development, culture, and geopolitical strategies, further enhancing mutual understanding. However, this rich legacy now faces a vacuum, which we must address through sustained and dynamic engagement. Unfortunately, much of this research occurs in isolation. Joint efforts like those between the University of Peshawar, Area Studies Center, and the Institute of Oriental Studies of Russian Academy of Sciences remain rare. The conference is an opportunity to transform such collaboration into a norms. Education has been a critical pillar of Pakistan-Russia ties. Over the years, approximately more than 5,000 Pakistani pursued higher education in the USSR on scholarships, specializing in fields such as oil and gas exploration, IT technologies, medical sciences, and engineering. These individuals not only contributed significantly to Pakistan's development but also become enduring bridges of friendship between our nations. The foundation of Pakistan-Soviet relation was laid soon after Pakistan independence, with diplomatic ties formally established between April 27 and May 1, 1948, marking the start of collaboration despite contrasting political system and cultural identities. During the Cold War, Pakistan alignment with the United States and participation in anti-communist alliance like CETOS and CENTO initially positioned it as an adversary to the USSR. Milestone in bilateral relation included the 1961 Oil Exploration Agreement, the 1966 Economic and Technical Cooperation Agreement, and Soviet assistance in industrial projects such as the steel plant near Karachi and atomic energy collaboration. In March 1972, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, President of Pakistan, visited the Soviet Union to normalize relations between the two nations. Bhutto held substantive discussions in Moscow with Soviet leaders, including Chairman Alexei Kosygin and Secretary General Leonid Brezhnev. Even before his election on the socialist platform in 1971, Bhutto emphasized the importance of an independent foreign policy and strong ties with the Soviet Union, which had been strained during the war with India and the Indo-Soviet Treaty. This visit remarked the reconciliation between the two countries, restored industrial cooperation, and signaled a shift towards reducing Pakistan's dependence on the United States. Held from March 2 to March 5, 1972, the meeting strengthened trade, increasing it from 36.2 million rubles to 92.3 million rubles. Key outcomes including the establishment of Pakistan steel mills in Karachi, the Guddu thermal power plant, and Pakistan departure from the Southern Asian Treaty Organization and Central Treaty Organization. In 1974, Bhutto visited Moscow again as part of Goodwill Mission aimed to further strengthening ties. While this visit led to the establishment of Pakistan steel mills, inaugurated in 1985, challenges such as closer ties with China, tensions with India and Afghanistan, and discovery of Soviet arms in the region negatively impacted relations. Relations deteriorated further after Bhutto was deposed and executed by General Zia, whose pro-American policies aligned Pakistan with the United States in supporting the so-called Afghan Jihad against the Soviet Union from 1979 to 1988. Pakistan-Russian relations. After the USSR's disintegration, Pakistan was the first to recognize Russia as its successor, paving the way for renewed ties. Visits by leaders like Nawaz Sharif and Pervez Musharraf further cooperation addressing trade, terrorism, and regional stability. In the 2000, following Islamabad participation in the International Anti-Terrorist Coalition, Russian-Pakistani relations strengthened, particularly in the political sphere. In February 2003, Pakistan President Pervez Musharraf visited Russia, followed by President Asif Ali Zardari visited visit to Moscow in May 2011. In April 2007, Mikhail Fredkov, chairman of Russian government, visited Pakistan, marking the first such visit in over 3 decades. Pakistan accession to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization as a full member in June 2017 gave new momentum to bilateral relations, fostering an intensive political dialogue at high levels. Key meetings included those between President Vladimir Putin and Pakistani leaders on the sidelines of SCO summit, Nawaz Sharif in Ufa 2015 and Astana 2017, Mamnoon Hussain in Qingdao 2018 and Imran Khan in Bishkek 2019. On February 24, 2022, Imran Khan visit to Moscow included discussion with Putin on bilateral and regional issues. High-level dialogues continued, including regular engagement between Foreign Ministry Sergey Lavrov and Shah Mahmood Qureshi occurred in New York 2018, Moscow 2018, Bishkek 2019, and Dushanbe 2021. Mr. Sergey Lavrov also visited Pakistan in April 2021, meeting with Qureshi, Imran Khan, and Army Chief Qamar Javed Bajwa. Interparliamentary ties developed through meeting between Volodin and Asad Kaisar in 2018 and 2019, and a Pakistani Senate delegation visit Moscow on October 2019. Trade cooperation formalized by a 1999 agreement grew with record trade turnover in 2020, although it declined slightly in 2021. Prominent projects include the North-South gas pipeline, modernization of the Karachi metallurgical plant, and potential collaboration in IT, energy and transport. Military political ties advanced with a 2014 cooperation agreement, resumed arms deliveries and joint tactical exercises like Friendship and Arabian Monsoon. Collaboration in countering COVID-19 begins in 2021 with Pakistan's approval of the Sputnik 5 vaccine and discussions on its local production. Russian President Vladimir Putin is set to meet Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on the sidelines of the SCO summit in Astana, marking the latest chapter in a history of Russia-Pakistan relations. Economic collaboration is highlighted by Pakistan repayment of 93.5 million debt in 2020, trade exceeding 1 billion by 2023, wheat supply contracts and energy projects like the North-South gas pipeline. Defense ties include agreements since 2014, tactical exercises and arms deliveries such as Mi-35 helicopter in 2017. Educational and scientific cooperation. Educational and scientific cooperation has expanded with Russian doubling scholarship quotas for Pakistani students in 2023-2024 and over 380 Pakistani students currently studying in Russian institutions. Cooperation and connectivity constraints and barriers. The lack of political will, inadequate participation from the private sector, delay in payments, visa restrictions, difficulty in implementing customs regulations, no banking facility. Opportunities and suggestions. Single window operation at the border of Taftan, Jibad Man, the Iran, Astrakhan port in Russia. Provide financial assistance and relieve the cost of insurance for the traders, setting up facilitation, bilateral business council in each member country involving logistics, shipping, legislative, legal, and trade bodies, promoting participation in trade, international cooperation in railway, harmonization of custom procedures at the border, establishing a common IT platform, incentivizing the private sector to enhance usage of INSTC, International North-South Transport Corridor. Pakistan must apply for membership in the Great Eurasian Partnership initiative floated by President Vladimir Putin. Consider Pakistan apply to join the Greater Eurasian Partnership initiative proposed by President Vladimir Putin. Consider application for membership of the Eurasian Development Bank to deepen economic relation with member countries and seek access to development and finance. Awareness campaign to propagate the results for the 9th IGC FPCCI Pakistan-Russian Business Council and trade bodies in general. Creation of technology parks in Pakistan under Russian joint ventures dedicated to incubate startups that could be targeted at pharmaceutical products, IT, and greener energy. Conduct a Russia in Engineering and Technology Expo to showcase advancement in engineering and technology, advancement and engineering and technology. Host Gwadar and Astrakhan should be declared twin cities by both Russian and Pakistani government. Facilitate joint efforts between Federal Urdu University of Arts, Science and Technology and Kazan Federal University to translate publication from the Institute of Oriental Studies of the Russian Academy of Sciences into Urdu. In the end, I express my warm gratitude to Professor Dr. Zabta K. Shanwari, Vice Chancellor of Federal Urdu University and Technology, Professor Leaner Safin, Rector of Kazan Federal Urdu University, and Mr. Faisal Javed, focal person for their unwavering support and dedication. I would like to extend my appreciation to some people, to Mr. Rustam and Dr. Muhammad Arif Khan and Dr. Syed Shahabuddin for making my work useful. Thank you all for your efforts and commitment to fostering collaboration and excellence. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much. Extensive presentation explaining the realities which have happened over the history. I think there were certain very good suggestions, particularly when you talked about the lack of interest on the part of private sector so far trade and business relations between the two countries are concerned. But obviously that is related to certain other realities, particularly the visa restrictions and the financial transactions which Professor Ilsur he was discussing initially. But I think there's a need to have collaboration between the chambers of commerce and industries from both the countries. That would definitely going to help us and enhance the bilateral trade. And not only the expos, but the road shows is a fashion in these days. The road shows in the major cities of both the countries, they can be conducted where not only the culture, but different products, popular products, which Professor Saab has already explained that, the Pakistan imports, the high-ranking imports of Pakistan are those products which Russia is the high-ranking exporter, and same goes with Russia and Pakistan. So I think there is a huge potential in these areas as well. Thank you very much. Although it's not my fault, but usually we start with ladies first, but here we have ladies at the end. The next presenter is Dr. Marina Bakanova. She is an expert from the Russian Council of International Affairs. She would be discussing about, she is going to discuss about the opportunities for Russia-Pakistan cooperation in the field of healthcare and medical technology. So obviously it's a very different kind of presentation, and I'm sure we are going to get something very important out of it. Please, madam.
Доброе утро, good morning and assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Marina Bakanova, expert of Russian Council of International Affairs. Also, I represent the medical community and medical public diplomacy. My topic is opportunities for Russian-Pakistani cooperation in the field of healthcare and medical technology. In the modern world, dialogue between healthcare leaders is of a great importance. Humanity faces challenges that cannot be overcome alone: pandemic, environmental disasters, new diseases. Thanks to the exchange of experience and knowledge between countries, standards of medical care are improved, innovations are introduced, and effective strategies for the combating diseases are developed. International medical cooperation covers a wide range of issues in healthcare and medical science. It occupies an important place in the general system of international relations of the Russian Federation. The political and professional components are the two main areas of international cooperation. The political area is formed with the direct participation of the head of ministry in the course of determining the global strategy and place of Russian healthcare in the ongoing process at the global and regional levels. Secondly, the professional area includes the direct participation of the heads and specialists of the departments of the ministry, the federal services, and the federal agency in the development and implementation of joint international projects and programs. Also, we can tell about public diplomacy in the medical cooperation, like connect between doctors to doctors, hospital to hospital, and medical organization to medical organization. Today, several key trends stand out in the global healthcare: demographic changes, including population aging, the impact of climate and the environment of human health, the fight against non-communicable diseases, mental health care, the development of information technology in healthcare, and artificial intelligence, sanitary and epidemiological safety. All of them are actual for Russian-Pakistani medical cooperation. When it comes to international cooperation and exchange of experience, it is impossible to simply take and copy-paste your ready-made solution in another country and expect that they will work as well as for us. Absolutely not. Very often, initiatives and programs fail, do not achieve their goals, and sometimes even have an opposite effect, because managers and specialists didn't take into account local specific culture, social, economics, and other features. Before launching active cooperation, it is necessary to study the medical system of the country involved, the specifics of the providing assistance, the mentally of medical workers and patients. This can be implemented by launching medical anthropological expertise program. Cooperation between Russia and Pakistan is currently a pressing issue for both healthcare and diplomacy. At the same time, this topic remains untouched at the Shanghai Cooperation Platform, despite the high potential of its member countries. Cooperation in this area between Russia and Pakistan on the SCO platform is practically at the zero level. The main areas can be considered: cooperation in the field of high medical technologies, development in psychiatric, pediatric, and medical social areas, including social diseases, organization of mutual recognition of medical university diplomas and medical tourism, mass pharmacology and production of inexpensive, widely available drugs, development in the field of integrative medicine, and production of new drugs. First, and very important, a global problem between the countries' cooperation and, as a consequence, the unpopularity of Russian medical education for Pakistan is the lack of agreements on mutual recognition of medical university diplomas. Russia has enormous potential for training and retraining medical specialists in different levels, both doctor and mid-level medical personnel, as well as the supply of necessary equipment. One of the significant projects can be a project of medical tourism for Pakistani to Russian, science for treatment of rare and serious diseases, especially those requiring highly qualified medical care. The pharmaceutical industry of Pakistan, although not advanced, is nevertheless well oriented towards to the production of mass market drugs, and they can be easily brought to Russian markets at affordable prices, relieving the Russian pharmaceutical industry of the burden of product more expensive drugs and new drugs especially. In addition, Pakistan can become a good source of inexpensive medical raw materials. Also, one idea is about producing some medical herbs in Pakistan areas and making especially herbal tea for export. Taking into account the historical aspects of the formation of the healthcare system in Pakistan and the deficit of the medical part of the budget, an energy complex of interaction between various medicine has developed in the country. You know, in Pakistan, official medicine is considered with Chinese medicine, classical Arabic medicine, and local folk like Hakim. The study of this form of the medical interaction can help Russian medicine become more integrated and patient-oriented, and the study of medical heritage can become the basic new for the development of the new types of drugs. A great deal of work in the field of international health is carried by non-government organizations. Services provided by international NGOs in the field of health include direct medical care, drinking water for the population, vitamin supplements, and mitigation of the effect of epidemic and endemic infection disease and malnutrition. In the context of the Russia-Pakistan dialogue, it is possible to reach an agreement on the organization of a large Russian medical complex in the format of NGO on the territory of Pakistan, throughout which the majority is cooperation in all areas will be ensured. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Marina Bakanova. I would say it was a different kind of perspective, obviously, apart from geopolitical and geoeconomics. And I think such areas are, they can be detrimental and helpful to bring both the countries closer, because obviously in such areas you are going to have more people-to-people connectivity. And in such way, you are in a better position to understand each other. I mean, we know that the COVID pandemic particularly, it has provided opportunities for international community to cooperate with each other. And we have seen there were different forums where different countries, different people and organizations, even the private and individual people who are related to healthcare, they cooperated with each other. And by the end of the day, we see that there were certain new kind of innovations into the medical industry as well. So I think joint research can be done in order to bring innovation into this particular field as well. We know that Pakistani medical education is accepted almost in the whole world. And this medical profession is also very much popular in Pakistan. We are already short of doctors in Pakistan because of the population. So our students, they go to the Central Asian states, particularly to Kyrgyzstan, and now there's a trend they are going to Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan for medical education. So this is one of the areas where Russia can offer Pakistani students incentives to study their medical education over there. And one more thing, we know that Pakistan is famous worldwide for the export of surgical equipment. So again, here we can have joint projects and research for the creation of new and modern technologies in this particular field. Thank you very much. And the last speaker of the session is Dr. Sidra Khan. She is from Bahria University, Karachi. She is going to discuss about recalibrating relations, the emerging Pakistan-Russia partnership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Being the last of the presenter is a highly responsible job because I know you're all tired, and I'll make sure I relieve you all very soon. So the topic of my presentation is recalibrating relations, the emerging Russia-Pakistan relations. The sequence of the presentation is as flashed. Now, Russia and Pakistan relations have been going and have undergone a significant shift in their bilateral relations, moving from Cold War era hostility to strategic engagement. Now, this transformation is driven by evolving geopolitical realities, now including the US withdrawal from Afghanistan, Chinese expanding influence, and Russia's pivot towards Russia. With these shared interests in energy cooperation, defense collaboration, and regional stability, both nations find themselves finding new avenues for partnership, and one such we have just witnessed right now by my fellow panelist. Now, the basic question still stands over here, like, can Pakistan and Russia build a sustainable, long-term strategic alliance that extends beyond the regional constraints? I think I'll go for a little bit of it, historical context. During the Cold War, Pakistan aligned with the US, serving as a base for CIA-backed mujahideen against Soviet forces in Afghanistan. Meanwhile, the USSR strengthened ties with India, supplying arms and supporting it diplomatically, notably vetoing UN resolutions during the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. After the Soviet collapse, we're talking about post-war shifts. After the Soviet collapse, Russia struggled with diminished influence, while Pakistan faced isolation after the 1998 nuclear tests. Both countries were sidelined in the US-dominated world. The 9/11 attacks further altered the dynamics. Pakistan joined the US war on terror, while Russia opposed NATO's expansion. However, from 2010 onwards, shifting global dynamics reshaped Pakistan-Russia ties. Putin's pivot to Asia, driven by Western sanctions, aligned with Pakistan's growing disillusionment with US policies. Now, notably, Afghanistan, this is the highlighting point, once was a point of conflict between the two, now unites both the countries, countering ISIS and Khorasan threats. Now, these evolving ties reflect the shared regional interest and resistance to the US hegemony. The basic question we still actually are facing is why exactly Pakistan matters. The reason so is Pakistan matters because Pakistan offers Russia a crucial gateway in the Indian Ocean through Gwadar port, potentially circumventing the Suez Canal. If linked with Iran-Chabahar port via the Russia-Iran-Pakistan corridor, this route can significantly reduce cargo transit times from St. Petersburg to Mumbai by 15 days, thus challenging the Western dominance in the global logistics system. Demographically, Pakistan's youthful population of 100 million under 30 presents a vast pool of talent for Russian tech firms. This offers opportunities for collaboration, such as between Russian giants like Yandex and Pakistani startup, paving a way for Silicon Valley in the east, right here in Karachi. Diplomatically, Pakistan's leadership in OIC enhances its influence, which Russia seeks to leverage for legitimizing its policies in regions like Syria and Chechnya. However, in security perspective, Pakistan's extensive counterterrorism experience is invaluable for Russia in managing regional threats. Russia's engagement with Pakistan isn't just about undermining its historical ties with India, but making sure that it's about strategically balancing India's growing alignment with US and managing Chinese regional ambitions. The strategic drivers which drive the Russian motivations here are just twofold. The first one being the escaping Western isolation, the strict sanctions and restrictions being pushed on Russia to seek alternative trade routes. Now, Pakistan offers this access to the Indian Ocean via Gwadar Port, bypassing the NATO-controlled choke points and reducing reliance on the Western markets. And second is the balancing India's US tilt. As India deepens defense ties with the US through Quad, Russia engages with Pakistan, signaling its strategic leverage. In a similar way, Pakistan's motive towards Russian engagement is not just primarily driven or pressing, it's pressing need for energy security, which is crucial for Pakistan, political stability and economic growth. Now, these projects are not merely meeting the electricity demands, they're vital actually for ensuring political survival in a country where energy shortages have historically triggered social unrest and political turmoil. The areas which are for enhanced cooperation, the first one being, I would like to mention again, my co-chair, which actually provide a very pertinent and significant area for enhanced cooperation. And in my presentation, the first one being the energy cooperation. Because of the first point, the mutual needs of the both countries. Pakistan seeks reliable energy to tackle shortages, while Russia aims to expand its influence within the South Asia. Oil and gas, Russia has been supports Pakistan's energy infrastructure, notably the Pakistan Stream gas pipeline. In the nuclear sector, Russia has helped build Pakistan Karachi nuclear power plant K2 and K3 and may further aid Pakistan's civilian nuclear energy sector. However, there is a huge potential in the renewable sectors like hydropower, solar, wind, and promoting sustainability. In the defense cooperation, we have seen that Russia has been supplying Pakistan with Mi-35 helicopters. However, ongoing current discussions include the potential sale of advanced air defense systems and fighter jets, which not only enhances Pakistan's military capabilities, but signals a strategic realignment in the regional power dynamics. Both countries have been conducting joint military exercises. Now, for example, the first significantly mentioned here is the Vaza exercise, focusing on the counterterrorism and operational interoperability. Now, expanding these drills would enhance military cooperation and contribute to a regional stability. In the field of counterterrorism, facing shared threats from extremist groups, Russia and Pakistan are collaborating on counterterrorism strategies. This partnership not only addresses mutual security concerns, but also strengthens regional counterterrorism frameworks. In the aspect of economic and trade relations, as both countries seek to diversify their trade partners and reduce dependency on Western economic markets, they become very much strategic imperative to each other. Here, I would like to highlight only two basic points. The one is the Eurasian Economic Union. Pakistan is negotiating a free trade agreement with the EAEU, key economic bloc led by Russia. This agreement could substantially increase Pakistan's market access to Eurasia, now fostering greater trade connectivity and economic integration. And second being the trade agreement itself. To enhance bilateral trade, Russia and Pakistan can pursue preferential trade agreements, and Pakistan could boost its export in its textile while importing Russian machinery, metals, and energy. Such agreements would not only balance trade but also strengthen the economic ties. In the aspect of diplomatic and multilateral cooperation, Shanghai Cooperation have been talked a lot about it. And active member, the SCO facilitates, obviously the platform gives a strategic dialogue and joint initiatives, particularly in counterterrorism. On the field or on the platform of UN, both Pakistan and Russia often aligns their diplomatic stances at UN, notably that Russia has been supporting Pakistan's call for a peaceful resolution of the Kashmir in line with the UN resolutions. However, the most significant here is the climate change. Now, both countries face significant environmental challenges, including the glacier melt and water resource management. They can collaborate on climate initiatives, sharing technology and strategies to mitigate the impacts of climate change, particularly in the Himalayan and the Central Asian regions. In the cultural exchange, the last 2 points are far more important because, first, cultural diplomacy, organizing cultural festivals, art exhibitions, and film screening would promote mutual understanding and appreciation of each other. Yesterday, we had a conversation with Arthur, and he actually told us that a few of the movies of Pakistani nomenclature have been very much showing in Russian cinemas, that too in Urdu, that too in Russian language. I think that's one of the biggest steps. And the tourism, all right, just give me, 2 more minutes. Thank you so much. Tourism, both countries can promote tourism by leveraging their shared geographical. Now, Pakistan's northern regions, known for their breathtaking mountain, now they resonate with the Russia's natural beauty. Now, they both provide a unique tourism exchange, and the joint tourism initiatives would enhance the cultural connectivity. And then the region of geopolitical and regional security, both countries are working together in the Afghanistan, and those both support an inclusive government in Kabul to promote peace initiatives, recognizing the instability in Afghanistan that it directly impacts not their domestic security, but the regional security as well. Within the Central Asia, Pakistan offers Russia strategic access to Indian Ocean's warm waters, bypassing Western choke points. Conversely, Russia provides Pakistan access to Central Asian markets. In the field of counterterrorism, both countries are collaborating on regional security frameworks we have discussed earlier and counterterrorism strategies to neutralize these threats. The very important thing here is that there has been a huge impact on of the Ukraine crisis on Pakistan-Russia relations. The first one being the strategic shift. The evolving global landscape has encouraged Russia to diversify its partnership with Pakistan, offering connectivity through CPAC and the Indian Ocean. In the economic engagement, trade change dynamics often create new opportunities for Pakistani exports, specifically in the Russian markets. And this engagement not only boosts bilateral trade, but also supports Pakistan's economic diversification. In the regional cooperation, Russia increasing alignment with China due to Western pressures further integrates Pakistan into a strategic trilateral axis, enhancing regional connectivity and security cooperation. This geopolitical shift enables Pakistan to balance its relation with major geopolitical powers, maintaining its strategic autonomy. However, there has been a huge trust deficit between the two countries of Pakistan, bilateral relation between Russia and Pakistan. To mitigate these, I have 4 points, and the first one being the diplomatic initiative, establishing annual summits modeled after Russia-India interactions, along with regular parliamentary exchanges that institutionalize the dialogue and enhance diplomatic trust. The second is the military transparency. My fellow colleague before that have talked about the economic transparency. That was an amazing point as well. Inviting Russian military observers to the line control that provides first-hand insight into Pakistan's counterterrorism operations, breaking the stereotype that Pakistan acting as a jihadi haven. Additionally, conducting joint counterterrorism drills such as the trilateral exercise with China, like the Peace Mission series that would normalize military cooperation. The last two I think is flashed, but I think the cultural ones is more or less we have discussed. This is, I strongly feel that, I'm so sorry. This is one of the slides I strongly feel is quite pertinent for the bilateral relationship between Russia and Pakistan. The short-term goals, the medium-term goals, and the long-term goals. In the short-term way, we can collaborate on finalizing the Pakistan stream gas pipeline by 2025. It's a dream come true. As a priority, utilizing the rupee ruble barter system to circumvent the Western sanctions. Additionally, establishing a maritime trade route from Karachi to Murmansk, if I'm spelling it wrong, inspired by the India-Russia Chennai-Volzova corridor, could enhance bilateral trade connectivity. Another is space collaboration, launching a joint satellite for climate monitoring, modeling on successful India-Russia space collaboration that would enhance environmental surveillance and disaster management, also advancing bilateral scientific. In the medium-term goals between Pakistan and Russia can be the counter-narcotics and security cooperation, a trilateral counter-narcotics initiative involving Russia, Pakistan, and Afghanistan could target drug labs and disrupt the finances of extremist group. In the economic integration connectivity, China integrating CPAC with Russia's north-south route would establish a strategic Arctic-India Ocean trade link. This connectivity aligns with Russia's Eurasian economic vision and enhances Pakistan's role as well. For the long term, Eurasian energy grid, linking Russian gas from Turkmenistan through Tapi pipeline to Pakistan and then exporting the LNG to China. that would position Pakistan as a Russian energy hub. This aligns with the Putin's 2030 energy superhighway vision, enhancing Pakistan's energy security and regional economic integration. And for the last, a defense industrial zone, co-producing drones and cyber technology for emerging global south markets that would diversify Pakistan's defense industry, allowing Russia to maintain its strategic influence within the South Asia. For the conclusion, the emerging Russia-Pakistan partnership marks a strategic realignment driven by the shifting geopolitical dynamics and shared national interest. Now, for Russia, Pakistan offers strategic access to the Indian Ocean and the counterbalance to India's US alignment, while Pakistan views Russia as a crucial for energy security and defense diversification. This relationship is anchored in cooperation on energy, defense, economic integration, and diplomatic alignment. However, challenges like historical mistrust, India's influence, and US sanctions persist. Overcoming require strategic diplomacy, economic incentives, and cultural exchanges. Looking forward, this partnership holds significant potential to reshape regional geopolitics and foster mutual growth, demonstrating that historical rivalries can evolve into pragmatic alliances. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sidra. Another comprehensive presentation covering almost all the aspects of bilateral relations, spanning from political to military, economic, cultural, and then environmental aspects. I think as a student of international politics, we see that most of the scholars at international and regional level, they are predicting the Indian Ocean region as the decisive area where the future international politics is being devised and shaped. So in this context, also, both the countries, Russia and Pakistan, they have to cooperate with each other, and actually their interests, they converge again. So with this, we have finished with the presentations. Now the floor is open for question and answer session. I would request the individual who is asking the question to introduce him or herself, and then the person, the panelist, name the panelist whom the question is pointed to. Any question?
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation, but I have several remarks to you. First of all, it's concerning the maybe I misunderstand something. I tried to repeat your words, and you told about the enhance of Russian influence in the South Asia, as I remember. And can you explain to me in what way Russian Federation would like to expand? First of all, shall we come back to the project North-South pipeline? As far as I understand, as far as I remember, the project, I mean the agreements were resigned three times, and nobody, and this project was not started. In what way Russian Federation would like to enhance their influence in the South Asia if Pakistan doesn't want to start this project? Yes. The second my remark is, you mentioned about the Ukrainian conflict and its impact on the Pakistani-Russian relations. First of all, it's not the conflict. Russian Federation, of course, it's not the secret for everybody in the world. It's only the limited to military operation, and the Russian Federation defends its own territory, defends its own people, and at the same time, I would like to focus your attention to the official statements by a Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. They are neutral, as far as I remember, because, sorry, but I don't agree with your position. I'm a scholar too, but I'm very careful when I'm writing some papers, some articles. I try to quote very carefully official documents, and I invite you to do the same, because this is the international stage, international meeting, and that is why we have be very careful to the official statements by both countries if we would like to cooperate closer and closer. Thank you.
The gas pipeline, I think yesterday we actually, Pakistanis, we have said that it is on our part that we have not been able to start it. Russian Federation have been trying their fullest to help us in every particular way, and they still are trying their best to help us in every way. It is on our part and on our lacking that we have not been able to do so because of our certain circumstances. So I completely agree with that. However, about the second point, I would say that I second your point, but rather I would say that it's not like I am trying to offend anyone. More or less, I'm more like how the situation has helped the bilateral relationship, only from that perspective.
I think if I can add on into the arguments which Dr. Sidra has given, yes. So for the Pakistan Stream gas pipeline is concerned, you're right that it has been signed 3 times. I also tried to explain it yesterday. There are certain pressures, certain international, global and regional pressures, which are shaping and reshaping that project. Well, obviously, it is one of the projects which will definitely bring a breakthrough between Russia and Pakistan relationship. One. Secondly, so far the Ukraine conflict influenced Pakistan-Russia relations are concerned. I don't know what her perspective is, but we understand even when the conflict started, our Prime Minister was in Moscow, but even then, we tried to have balance. But actually, we need to understand that each state is an independent entity and it has its own national interest. And we need to look to the relation, for example, Pakistan's policy towards Russia and Ukraine independently and separately, because we have independent relation with the Russian Federation. Obviously, it's one of the major partners of Pakistan, not only at the regional but now at the global level as well. But obviously, we have certain kind of relations with Ukraine as well, and we cannot compromise our relation with both the countries. They have a mutual conflict. We wish and we diplomatically support the peaceful resolution of the conflict. Obviously, it's a conflict between the 2 states. It should be resolved. Obviously, not only the region but the common people in both the countries, they are also suffering. So we support that this conflict should be resolved peacefully and independently. And Pakistan has its independent foreign policy towards both the countries, and we respect both the states' stances. Thank you. Since we are short of time and the organizers, they have signaled me to end the session, I'm really sorry. I'm unable to take more questions, although the debate over here is very healthy, but we can continue it in the next sessions. Thank you very much.